Namaste and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am going to talk about the moon in astrology. Chandra, that is the Vedic name of the moon. The moon has other names like Indu, Soma. Unlike Western astrology, Vedic astrology gives a lot of importance and respect to the moon. In astrology, moon indicates the mother. We all like our mother. Yes, there are good mothers and bad mothers, but the moon, despite good or bad, indicates the mother. Especially in Indian culture, mother is a very influential person in anyone's life. If the mother is good, the formative years will be good. The mother is bad, the formative years will be bad. In this video, I'll be talking about the origin and the indications of good moon and bad moon in your horoscope. Before that, let me tell you, moon rules 3 nakshatras. They are Rohini, Hasta and Shravana. Whenever these nakshatras are connected to the 10th house, then you will surely work in a domain related to directly giving care to people, like you will be directly dealing with people. So when we look into the Vedas, Upanishads and Puranas, there are two kinds of stories connected to the birth of the moon. The first story is that moon is born from the mind or manas of Brahma. Brahma, we know he is the celestial creator. So the moon, he doesn't want anything, he just want to have a wish. That's how the moon is born. He has a lot of fish-born sons and moon is one among them. The other story is that moon is the child of sage Atri and Anasuya. Sage Atri, he prayed around 3000 years, kept his hand raised continuously for 3000 years for a very good son. Finally, one drop of tear fell down, and as soon as it fell down, it rose up to the sky and it became the moon. These are the two stories. And moon is also known as Soma, and we know throughout the Vedas we can see the rishis dedicating the drink to the devas, and that drink's name is Soma Amrit. Moon also indicate water, so it can be considered as water also, because we need water. Maybe we have a lot of other drinks like Red Bull, which gives you wings, or we have Diet Pepsi or Coca-Cola or Mirinda or Maaza or Slice. Nothing can quench our thirst like water do. Pure water is a blessing, and we all need, whole earth needs water. In various religious texts, despite Hindu, we can see God cleaning up the entire earth with water. The Mahapralaya is been described in every religious text. So the water is indicated by the moon. In Vedic astrology, moon rules one sign, only one sign, that is Cancer. And Cancer is the 4th sign in the natural zodiac wheel. Natural zodiac wheel means the cosmic man, Kala Purusha. In the Kala Purusha chart, moon rules the 4th house. Despite your lagna, your 4th house is ruled by the moon. Even if it is ruled by Mars or Venus or Jupiter, the moon will have a say about the matters of your 4th house. So just look at the moon to know how your family life is going to be, how your mind is going to be, how much emotionally strong you are, how much strong your mind is. So you have to look at the moon. In this video, I'll be talking about the attributes of the moon. I have prepared some note from my astrology class. I hope you know that I have studied astrology from Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan under the guidance of Guruji Shri K. N. Raoji. So I have some notes. I'll be reading from that also. So let's see what does moon indicates in astrology. Okay, before that, let me tell you one more story. Moon indicates mind and emotions and romance. So when we look at the moon, it has other stories connected to it. So whomever wants to know more about the moon, you have to understand this story also. Moon grew up as a fine young man. In the Vedic text, moon is known as a male character, but when it comes to astrology, it indicates female related matters. For example, mother, luxury, emotions. Emotions everybody have, but emotions, it is a tender thing. So moon indicates those tender things. So the moon grew up as a fine young man. Then he went to the Gurukula of Brahaspati. Brahaspati's wife is Tara. The Purana says Tara seduced moon. I don't know whether it is an anticipatory bale, but Tara seduced the moon. Tara got influenced by the moon's glory, charm. So they both eloped to a different loga, and in that relationship they got a child, and that child's name is Mercury. So there was a very big war occurred to get Tara back to Brahaspati. It is Brahaspati's gracious quality that he was ready to take her back, otherwise nobody will do. So she went back, and moon took this child to Rohini. So Rohini took care of Mercury. Maybe that's the reason moon likes Rohini a lot. But Mercury was cursed by Jupiter to be a neuter planet. We know there are two neuter planets in astrology. One is Mercury and the other is Saturn. So when the neuter planet comes into any house, there will be a lot of turbulence and confusion in that house, because it is not going into any particular side. It is not positive or negative. It is not getting any clear direction. So especially when it comes into the 7th house, we will understand that this couple is going to have indecisiveness in the relationship. So the Mercury knows moon is his father and he is an illicit child. So moon and Mercury combination, when they are together, it creates a lot of emotional turbulence. In astropsychology, moon is the primary planet to know whether the person have a sound mind or he has any chance for emotional issues or psychological issues. When moon and Mercury are closely when they are very close with each other, it can bring psychological disorders like bipolar syndrome, schizophrenia, which requires medication. See, we all have some kind of emotional issues, but not all of us are taking any kind of medication. But there are certain psychological illness which can only be cured by medicines, and the moon and Mercury conjunction in a very close degrees, that can cause these kind of diseases, especially if they are aspected by malefics, if they are conjunct with malefics, if they are in Rahu Ketu axis. So this is the story of the moon. Moon is a very naughty planet, and when moon got married, see, moon got married to 27 nakshatras, and they have one brother, that is Abhijit. So this Abhijit is known as fallen pole star. When moon was getting married to these nakshatras, their father Daksha Prajapati took a promise from the moon that moon will be unbiased to anyone. But moon couldn't keep that promise. He was so attached to the nakshatra Rohini. So the other sisters complained to the father Daksha. So the Daksha cursed him to lose the charm of the moon, and moon started losing the charm. The moon got worried. He went to Lord Shiva. He prayed. Lord Shiva appeared. He wanted to take this curse back. Moon wanted Lord Shiva to take this curse back. But what happened? Lord Shiva said, I cannot do that, but I can give you one correction method. You will be waxing and waning. For 2 weeks you will be in full glory. The other 2 weeks you will be waning. That's why we see moon in a waxing and waning mode. See, this is a scientific principle also. Science also say the same, moon waxes and wanes. That's why we can see in Lord Shiva's picture, he is carrying that crescent moon on his jada, on his hair. So moon also indicates devotion. If you have a good moon, you can be a very spiritual person. So let's see what moon indicates in astrology. I'll tell you what are the good things moon indicates. And moon indicates beauty. Like moon is a very beautiful planet, indicates beauty, conception, fertility, then water, then childbirth, embryo, womb. All these things are indicated by the moon. Then moon also indicates passion, romance, nourishing, caring, then mother figures, pearls, white color, oceanic products, marine products, navigation. Moon indicates anything connected to the water, water products. Then moon indicates formative years, home, whatever we need at home like groceries, the devices at home, whatever we need to, whatever things are required to make a home, the physical home will be indicated by the moon. It indicates peace. When the moon is good, you will be very peaceful. It indicates the thought process. When the moon is good, you will have a good life, good kind of thought process, like whether you are taking everything in the good sense. For example, you can have a good and bad perspective about everything, but if your moon is good, you will have a good perspective of everything. You will not be jumping into any kind of conclusions. Moon indicates vegetation. Moon indicates night birds, like nocturnal activities, night birds like owls, commodities for home. Then the moon indicates sensitivity. If the moon is good, you will be very sensible. When the moon is good, you will have a good receptive mentality, like if somebody is telling you something, you will take in a very good sense. If the moon is bad, you will take in a bad sense. Moon indicates faith, love, openness, then devotion. Then moon indicates water, anything contains water, like drinks. Like earlier I told you, moon is known as, also known as soma. So any drinks which is good, like if moon is conjunct with a bad planet, you will have harm from the bad kind of drinks. For example, yesterday I heard a girl used to consume Coke daily, Coca-Cola daily. She got a hole in her stomach. So if the moon is bad, you can have affinity for bad drinks. You can be an alcoholic. If the moon is good, you will have a good hydrated body. If the moon is good, like you will have a round face, a face without any marks, with good features, like moon getting exalted in the second house. So second house indicates facial organs. So naturally, if the moon is good, your facial organs will be good, your teeth will be good, you will not have any pimple marks. So the moon indicates a lot of things like beauty. So moon indicates caring. For example, if your moon comes into the 10th house, you will be directly involved with customer care. If the moon is in the 4th house, you will be directly involved with home nourishment, interior decoration, things like that. The Vedic stories have a lot of implications, like for example, Mars is known as Bhumi Putra. Why Bhumi Putra? Lord Shiva was very aggressive and a drop of sweat fell down into the grounds. Nobody could contain the heat of that drop of sweat, but Bhumi Devi was ready to take it. Bhumi Devi took it and she produced a child, and that is called Mars. Since Mars is born out of Bhumi, he is known as Bhumi Putra. So when Mars is connected to the 10th house, it is aspecting the 4th house. So naturally, you can get connected to real estate business. You can be a real estate developer, agent, interior decorator, CAD developer. You can be a civil engineer. So this is a possibility. If the Mars is bad, you can have issues with the family members for the property. Then about the vaccine and waning story also. For example, waxing moon is seen as a very good indication, but the waning moon is seen as a bad condition. If the waxing moon is connected to the 10th house, your career will progress. But if it is in the 10th house, waning moon is in the 10th house, you have to be very careful with your career because it shows a decreasing kind of mode. So these are the things. The Vedic stories which shows the waxing moon indicates growing. So whenever waxing moon is in the horoscope, that house of the horoscope will be growing, but if the waning moon is there, it will be decreasing. And we have to see that, wherever moon is placed, whichever house moon is placed, we will be spending a lot of time thinking about the properties of that house. For example, if your moon is in the 5th house, if there are 24 hours, you will be spending at least 23 hours thinking about creativity, because 5th house indicates creativity, children, romance, mandra, tandra. So we have to see the nakshatra where moon is placed in also. And the negative influence of the moon is basically it indicates mental disorders like hysteria, then over anxiety, and waterborne diseases like asthma, colds, epilepsy, throat issues, food allergies, cough, colic pain. Then it indicates troubled family life, unhappy mother. See, we are not much bothered about the happiness of mother. If your moon is bad, your mother is also unhappy. The mother had a lot of emotional turbulence. The family environment is bad. Your family reputation in the society is also bad. Then when moon is bad, the fluid, like including the blood, the bile juice, and the other fluids will get some kind of infection. Then typhoid, varicose vein. These are the things which can happen when moon is bad. When moon and Saturn is conjunct, that person can feel lonely because it gives a yoga called Punarafu yoga or Visha yoga. Such people should be very realistic. They should not be dependent upon anybody, because Saturn is a detaching planet. It is the distant planet. It is placed in the farthest part of the orbit. So, but moon is always going around. Saturn is staying in one house for 2.5 years. So the moon and Saturn are totally different qualities. They have adjustment problem with each other. When the moon is conjunct with Saturn, you can have bad relationship with the mother, but it is depend upon the perception. Like this relationship helped you to be aware of the reality of life. So you are self-sufficient. You are not dependent upon anybody. You are in a solo race. You don't have to look at anybody for the growth. You are a self-independent person. You are a self-reliant person. But the other thing is that at the end of the day, you feel lonely in your mind. This is called a Visha yoga or Punarafu yoga, which blocks the progress. But see, any bad yoga, it will produce good results after one point of time. Up to 36 years, all the planets will get matured. Even if you are facing some kind of troubles after 36 years, then the most possible chance can be the dasha problem. Your dasha is not supporting you, or the promise in the horoscope is not supporting you. Otherwise, you should make progress. That is the divine theory. You should make progress slowly by the 36, when you are 36 years. The moon gets debilitated in Scorpio. Gastric troubles are also indicated by the moon. See, if the planet is bad, you should not take any risk with the properties of that planet. For example, if the moon is bad, you should not sell your home. At least 1 cent of land, you should not sell it. Once you sell it, you will have difficulty in buying another. If moon is bad, make your mother happy. Your mother is definitely unhappy. She has a lot of suffering. Make your mother happy. This is the great remedy for a bad moon. Then remedies for bad moon. Remedies are actually told like a Shruti, not to everybody. Still, when the moon is bad, you should meditate, because moon indicates mind. You should plant trees which can produce good white flowers. Then you should eat white food, white fruits. These are the common remedies. But see, remedies are based on your Rinanu Bandhana. If moon is causing any Rinanu Bandhana, then you should go to a good astrologer who doesn't charge 40, 50K for pujas and all that. There are certain other techniques, psychological techniques and behavioral therapies which can totally change the planetary bad effects. But if there are any bad effects, you have to go through that. We can just increase the productivity, that's all. I hope you understood this. I'll see you in another video. Bye.